Guys, it's real. It's Cherry, and what's going on? And that's right, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl is real. It was just revealed again that this is the case, and there was some debate on this, as there was plenty of fake leaks going around, and things that weren't proven to be true, but we weren't sure if real, and those things being the initial leaks that made us believe that Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl was real, and that literally was the odd-looking Danny render that was different from his Nick Brawl render, but also not necessarily finished. And that one was also paired with the infamous Squidward wheelchair render, and it was assumed that that render was a loss screen. It's like taking second or third or fourth place instead of your victory screen, which would be like your first place win, and it just showed Squidward in a wheelchair. And those two were the first two renders that we saw as community, and that leakers pulled out and said this is real, Nick Brawl 2. And we weren't sure to trust it because at the time, months following, we had multiple leaks and fake rumor posts and renders that came out that pretty much were then proven fake by a fan account called Nick Brawl Leaks or Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl Leaks or something like that. And then that kind of just caused a ton of confusion, because if all of those except for Squidward wheelchair and the Danny Phantom render were proven to be fake, then what's saying that those two weren't fake as well? However, Steven Squarehead, or Steven SQ Headed as they're known on Twitter, just announced a sequel that was thought quietly canceled, but turns out it will be announced very near. That's right, it's Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2. Big thanks to the mysterious stranger who uploaded this. And you can see this must be the box art. And here it is again, that Danny render, but this time with some memes and stuff over the top of it. And they have a Jimmy Neutron drawing, SpongeBob, Squidward drawing, or meme or something. And they're pointing at the Danny render, which oddly, it looks like he's holding a sword in this render, which I don't remember being the case in the original leak of this. And it also did not look this complete or farther along. It had an odd shaped head, and the eyes were weird, and the shading and lighting and everything were very odd on it too. There was a couple different angles in the initial leak where it was you had Danny doing a hands up pose, or kind of his grounded up strong, but it looked really scuffed. That's pretty much what I'll say. And yeah, so anyway, moving on, you have a different part of what looks to be the box art, and it looks like this version, you can kind of see up in the top left that there's some sort of red here, and so I'd imagine maybe this is the Nintendo Switch box art that's being leaked, which I doubt it would be different, but you can see there's a very different, tone, if you can recall, what the initial box art of, the first game looks like, which is very much, pretty much, Smash themed. It has a lot of the same, they're all jumping in with their fists ready, and then as you go farther back, you see some of the more obscure characters. But in this box art, once again, you have SpongeBob, but instead of him coming in to punch you, he has himself just rushing in, looking straight at the audience. And then you have Jenny in the background, who was a DLC character for the first game, now on the box, so she should probably be a mainstaying character, not DLC, if she's on the box art, of course. And then you have Korra here on the right with some sort of odd, I just noticed this, but maybe it's not complete or somebody drew over this or something, but you have literally a SpongeBob blurred box poorly traced over him, and it looks I don't know why this is the case. I'm guessing maybe the original leaker took this, and that's their tag is Monster Energy. You can see Monster Energy time stamped all over this. But anyways, then it looks like this might be Wrath. Just judging by his face, he's angry, of course, as he is the angry turtle. But it can be sometimes hard to tell because orange and red kind of can look the same under different lightings. But I'd imagine if he's on the box art, then and we can't see other characters as well, then I imagine maybe in this situation, he is probably Wrath, and maybe there'll be another turtle there. So they might just be showing off some new characters. You also can see in the background Vlad from Danny Phantom here in the top background. And that's interesting, because that's a character that a lot of people have wanted, myself included. I like Danny Phantom as a cartoon, so I'm just hoping always for more content in that game, or in the next Nick game, if this is actually true. And then you can see at the bottom here, next to Patrick and Wrath, it looks like possibly Jimmy Neutron, or like who else has a haircut like that, you know? I'd imagine that I mean, SpongeBob's foot, or whatever this like weird drawing blur it that you can see at the bottom is like blocking his face from view, so you don't really see too much of these new characters, as this render at least blocks them out, both Vlad's eyes, but you can kind of tell it's Vlad, you know, like there's no way it's not, just judging by the art style and his face. And then here at the bottom you can see definitely Denny, like there's no one else that has that hairstyle. So, and then just like also obscuring him, and next to SpongeBob's foot, his right foot, would be Nickelodeon All-Star. And it cuts off cheekily there, and maybe that's because like this is what they get their hands on. They don't want to release it completely. It could be fake. That's another very real possibility of this. So you just have to keep all things considered in this scenario. But if it's true, then this is some pretty elaborate spoofing. But I mean, again, we've seen certain things that were kind of like this, but also like definitely just in-game assets from the first one used and then repurposed in Photoshop. But that was by All-Star Leaks 2. And here you go. Next one, Danny Phantom. So whoever that was in the background was not Danny. So I actually was tricked here. But actually, if we go back here and look. Oh, so he's on like... Where is he? Unless that's like him zoomed in. But no, he's next to Patrick, so... Yeah, so that's interesting. So he's next, and then you can see Garfield's tail or ear or something down here. But yeah, Danny Phantom's there, and it may be his hue in the background. Maybe that's whose hair I saw and thought was Danny's. But that's really interesting to see, just because, hey, like, Jimmy is a proven character in this game after his father was jokingly put in as a DLC in the first game. Kind of as like a meme pick, if you will. They kind of like chose to pick what the fans wanted for the first game, and that's really cool to see, because obviously everybody likes like the characters that were added. Rocco being the last DLC character that was added for the older fans of the game, and then you had Jenny for like the most picked character of all time. It was Jenny, because that's like a cult classic that has now become like a mainstream like fan favorite of a character. And then you have Hugh Neutron, which is also very requested as a meme pick. And then moving on here, you have this meme that they posted, and it was Kevin for NASB 2, and then you have best reveal if it was real, loser. And so then you have the Sandy and the Squidward wheelchair meme that was showcased with SpongeBob in the back saying, "Hi, Kevin." But they are saying that this is real, NASB 2, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2. They're saying it's real. They're saying that this is a leaked render from somebody, probably the user Monster Energy for whatever reason, or whatever this is. Monster... Yeah, it has to be... I'm guessing your tag has to be Monster Energy, just because that's what's... It's not like some play on it or anything. And then in the comments, you have a bunch of people just reacting. So people are actually really hopeful, because, I mean, hey, to me, this looks really real. Like, you don't just, like, make this up, you know? And, like, I mean, the only part that seems a little scuffed to me is the fact that this looks way different than this. And I don't know if that's just... If this is just that... one of the Danny renders that was leaked. I mean, it was a long time ago, so I'm honestly probably forgetting. And it's too hard for me to, like, go back and find the original posting, you know, because it's just been so long. But, if that's the case, then this is just, like, a, the render, again, that they're just showing off, and not just be like, more proof that, hey, this is verifiable to this. But also the blue color, like, this is a very zoomed-in middle part of the box art, so I could imagine that maybe if you zoom out more, and you zoom in on certain details, maybe that's the case, that's where this is coming from. But, that's all I've had for you today. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl seems to be true, or Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 seems to be true, with more details pointing out that it is coming out soon. And I know I've joked a lot in the past just on Reddit and other social medias that, hey, this is real, and I post something that's obviously a fake mod or something, but this is not me. This is real. Like, this isn't I mean, I'm talking about it for content, but like, this is not me making up. This is not some conspiracy, okay? This is something that somebody is claiming to have leaked. This is possibly real, and we in the those of us in the community that like are a bit more like in tune with the everyday things of Nick, like just competitively as well as just like things we hear. Like I just spoke to Rep, like not even about this, but just over some socializing with like Thaddeus Cruz, the dev of NASB, or one of the devs of NASB. Just like when we did our Jeopardy content that's on my channel like a couple weeks ago, and he jokingly was like, "Oh, I have an announcement," and then when I asked him about it, he just left the voice chat. So, I mean, he's obviously not gonna like say anything because he just can't when you're in his position. But him jokingly doing that is pretty funny. Now that this has happened not too long after, and so maybe that was on purpose, or maybe he was just trolling as per usual, which I imagine was the case. I don't think Rep intentionally leaked or is affiliated with this anyway. But hey, if he's working on the game, then he's been doing a good job at keeping it quiet, and the leaks are pretty bare bones, especially because a lot of the stuff we've gotten has been just like this stuff where like you don't know what the heck it is. You don't know if it's real, you don't know if it's fake, and there's been a lot of both, you know. Like there's a lot of, I won't say true things because you can't verify this type of stuff, but you have a lot of stuff that's unverifiable, or you have a lot of stuff that's incapable of being false, like incapable of being proven false right now. Now, if we get a statement from like Fair Play Labs and Ludosity, or Rep himself saying, yeah, there's literally no sequel planned, sorry guys, then that's a proven, like, dead, this is all just fake rumors, you know. But, hey, for now, I'm really excited to see where these leaks take us, and if it's true that this is an actual leak for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2, then, hey, looks like it's gonna be announced very shortly, which would be in line with, the initial announcement of the game, as that was announced over the summer months, I think in like July or June, around this time, almost 2 years ago. 3 years ago, actually. So it would have been probably 2 years at this point that Nick was announced, and then the sequel would have come out in October, or the initial game would have came out in October of 2021. It's now 2023 in June, late June. So if, let's say, this game turns 2, and then they announce in October or earlier that, hey, this game is coming out, or that we're working on this, so stay tuned, I wouldn't be surprised. You see the Nick Kart Racers have that same kind of track record with games coming out every couple of years, every 3 years or so. So I'm excited if it's real. I love this game, and I'm an avid TO in it, make a ton of tournaments. So that's all I got for you today. Hope it's real, and I'll see you guys in the next video.